The Asiatic lion, also known as the Indian lion or Persian lion, is a lion subspecies that exists as a single population in India's Gujarat state. Some Asiatic lions also live in zoos. It is listed as endangered by IUCN due to its small population size. Since 2010, the lion population in the Gir Forest National Park has steadily increased. In May 2015, the 14th Asiatic lion census was conducted over an area of about 20,000 square kilometers. The lion population was estimated at 523 individuals, comprising 109 adult males, 201 adult females and 213 cubs. The Asiatic lion was first described by the Austrian zoologist Johann N. Meyer under the trinomen Felis leopersicus. The Asiatic lion is one of 5 big cat species found in India, along with Bengal tiger, Indian leopard, snow leopard and clouded leopard. The former habitat of the species included southeastern Europe, Black Sea Basin, Caucasus, Persia, Canaan, Mesopotamia, Balochistan, from Sindh in the west, Bengal in the east, and from Rampur and Rohakund in the north to Nabada in the south. It differs from the African lion by a less inflated auditory bullae, a larger tail tuft and a less developed mane. Taxonomic history. Following Meyer's first description of an Asiatic lion skin from Persia, other naturalists and zoologists also described lions from other parts of Asia that today are all considered synonyms of P.L. persica. In 1829, Edward Turner Bennett published a book about the animals kept in the Tower Menagerie. His essay about lions contains a drawing titled Bengal Lion Felis leobengalensis. In 1833, Walter Smee exhibited 2 skins of lions killed in Gujarat in a meeting of the Zoological Society of London. He presented these skins of manless lions under the name Felis leogushriatensis. In 1834, Sir William Jardine, 7th Baronet, proposed the name Leo Asiaticus for Asiatic lions. In 1843, Henry Marie Ducrotay de Blainville published a drawing of an Asiatic lion skull under the name Felis leoindicus. Evolution. Fossil remains found in the Chroma stage suggest that the lion that entered Europe was of a gigantic size. Frequently encountered lion bones in cave deposits from Eemian times suggest that the late Pleistocene European cave lion, Panthera leospelea, survived in the Balkans and Asia Minor. There was probably a continuous population extending into India. Cave lions appeared about 600,000 years ago and were distributed throughout Europe, across Siberia and into western Alaska. The gradual formation of dense forest likely caused the decline in geographic range of lions near the end of the late Pleistocene. Phylogenetic analysis of cave lion DNA samples showed that they were highly distinct from their living relatives, and represent lineages that were isolated from lions in Africa and Asia ever since the dispersal over Europe in prehistoric times, and became extinct without mitochondrial descendants on other continents. Fossil remains of lions were found in Pleistocene deposits in West Bengal. A fossil carnassial found in the Batadomba cave indicates that Panthera leocinheus inhabited Sri Lanka during the late Pleistocene, and is thought to have become extinct around 39,000 years ago. This subspecies was described by D. Raniagala in 1939. It is distinct from the extant Asiatic lion. A phylogeographic analysis based on mtDNA sequences of lions from across their entire range indicates that sub-Saharan African lions are phylogenetically basal to all modern lions. These findings support an African origin of modern lion evolution with a probable center in eastern southern Africa, from where lions migrated to West West Africa, eastern North Africa and via the periphery of the Arabian Peninsula into Turkey, southern Europe and northern India during the last 20,000 years. Natural barriers to lion dispersal comprise the Sahara Desert, equatorial rainforests and the Great Rift Valley. Despite the geographical difference between Asiatic and African lions, results of a phylogeographic analysis based on mtDNA and genetic research indicated that North and West African lions were more closely related to Asiatic lions than to other African lions. In a comprehensive study about the evolution of lions, 357 samples of 11 lion populations were examined. Results indicate that 4 Atlas's lions from Morocco did not exhibit any unique genetic characteristics. The Moroccan cats shared mitochondrial haplotypes with Panthera leo senegalensis, and together with them were part of a major mtDNA grouping that also included Asiatic samples. According to the authors, this scenario was in line with the theories on lion evolution. They conclude that lineage 3 developed in eastern Africa, and then traveled north and west in the first wave of lion expansions out of the region some 118,000 years ago. It apparently broke up into haplotypes H5 and H6 within Africa, and then into H7 and H8 in Western Asia. Characteristics. The most striking morphological character, which is always seen in Asiatic lions, and seldom in African lions, is a longitudinal fold of skin running along its belly. Indian lions are smaller than large African lions, and Pokik said that they were similar in size to Central African lions. Adult males weigh 160 to 190 kilograms, while females weigh 110 to 120 kilograms. The height at the shoulders is about 3.5 feet. The recorded flesh measurements of 2 lions in Gir Forest by Colonel Fenton and Count Shibola were head and body measurements of 6 feet 6 in each, with tail lengths of 2 feet 11 in and 2 feet 7 in, and total lengths of 9 feet 5 in and 9 feet 3 in, respectively. The record total length of a male Asiatic lion is 2.92 meters including the tail, though the last lion of what is now Pakistan was thought to have been killed near Kotdiji in Sindh province in 1810. A British admiral, while travelling on a train accompanied by 2 others, reportedly saw a manless lion eating a goat near Quetta in 1935. He said, "It was a large lion, very stocky, light tawny in color, and I may say that no one of us 3 had the slightest doubt of what we had seen until, on our arrival at Quetta, many officers expressed doubts as to its identity, or to the possibility of there being a lion in the district. The fur ranges in color from ruddy tawny, heavily speckled with black to sandy buffish gray, sometimes with a silvery sheen in certain lights. Males have only moderate mane growth at the top of the head, so that their ears are always visible. The mane is scanty on the cheeks and throat, with where it is only 4 in long. About half of Asiatic lion skulls from the Gir forest have divided infraorbital foramina, whereas in African lions, there is only 1 foramen on either side. The sagittal crest is more strongly developed, and the postorbital area is shorter than in African lion. Skull length in adult males ranges from 330 to 340 mm, and in females from 292 to 302 mm. Compared to populations of African lions, the Asiatic lion revealed a diminished amount of genetic variation, which may result from a founder effect in the recent history of the remnant population in the Gir forest. Distribution and habitat. The Gir National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary in western Gujarat is the only habitat for the Asiatic lion, where an area of 1,412.1 square kilometers was declared as a sanctuary for the conservation in 1965. Later, a national park covering an area of 258.71 square kilometers was established where no human activity is allowed. In the surrounding sanctuary, only Mulharas have the right to graze the livestock. The population recovered from the brink of extinction to 411 individuals in 2010. Lions occupy remnant forest habitats in the two hill systems of Gir and Gir that comprise Gujarat's largest tracts of dry deciduous forest, thorny forest and savanna, and provide valuable habitat for a diverse flora and fauna. 5 protected areas currently exist to protect the Asiatic lion: Gir Sanctuary, Gir National Park, Panya Sanctuary, Mitayala Sanctuary, and Gir Sanctuary. The first 3 protected areas form the Gir Conservation Area, a 1,452 square kilometers forest block that represents the core habitat of the Asiatic lions. The other 2 sanctuaries, Mitayala and Gir, protect satellite areas within dispersal distance of the Gir Conservation Area. An additional sanctuary is being established in the nearby Bade Forest to serve as an alternative home for Gir lions. The drier eastern part is vegetated with acacia thorn savanna and receives about 650 mm annual rainfall. Rainfall in the west is higher at about 1,000 mm per year. As of 2010, approximately 105 lions, comprising 35 males, 35 females, 19 subadults, and 16 cubs existed outside the Gir forest, representing a full quarter of the entire lion population. The increase in satellite lion populations may represent the saturation of the lion population in the Gir forest and subsequent dispersal by subadults compelled to search for new territories outside their natal pride. Over the past 2 decades, these satellite areas became established, self-sustaining populations, as evidenced by the presence of cubs since 1995. As of May 2015, the lion population was estimated at 523 individuals, comprising 268 individuals in the Endangered district, 44 in the Gir Somnath district, 174 in the Amreli district, and 37 in the Bhavnagar district. Former range. The Asiatic lion used to live in West, South and Central regions of Asia and in Eastern Europe in historic times. Now the population of the lions currently exists in Western India's Gir Forest National Park. The type specimen of the Asiatic lion was first described from Persia in 1826, followed by descriptions of specimens from Haryana and Basra. Asiatic lions formerly occurred in Persia, Arabia, Palestine, Mesopotamia and Balochistan. Lions inhabited the southern part of the Balkan Peninsula up to Macedonia and probably the Danube River, but disappeared in Greece around the 1st century. In the Transcaucasus, they were known since the Holocene and became extinct in the 10th century. Lions survived in regions adjoining Mesopotamia and Syria until the middle of the 19th century, and were still sighted in the upper reaches of the Euphrates River in the early 1870s. They were widespread in Iran, but in the 1870s were sighted only on the western slopes of the Zagros Mountains and in the forest region south of Shiraz. Reginald Innes Pokax suggested that the restricted distribution in India, compared to that of Bengal tigers, indicated that they were comparatively recent immigrants that came to India through Persia and Balochistan. Rajasthan. Before man could limit the movement or presence throughout India, and not that Bengal tigers played a role in the near extinction, whether significant or small, unlike what some people thought. Just as they coexisted with Bengal tigers in parts of India, or, in the extended modern sense, the subcontinent, they occurred in areas that had Caspian tigers, like northern Persia and the Transcaucasus. Before man extirpated either lions or tigers in any of these places, the advent of firearms led to their extinction over large areas. By the late 19th century, Asiatic lions had become extinct in the area that is modern-day Turkey. In Iran, lions served as the national emblem and appeared on the country's flag. Some of the last lions were sighted in 1941 between Shiraz and Jahrom in the Fars province. In 1944, the corpse of a lioness was found on the banks of the Karan River in Iran's Khuzestan province. In India, Asiatic lions once ranged to the state of Bengal, but declined under heavy hunting pressure. In the early 19th century, they were found in northwestern and central India in Haryana, Khandesh, Rajasthan, Sindh, and eastward as far as Palamu and Rua, Madhya Pradesh. Heavy hunting by British colonial officers and their Indian vassal rulers led to a steady and marked decline of lion numbers in the country. Asiatic lions were exterminated in Palamu by 1814, in Baroda, Haryana and Ahmedabad in the 1830s, in Kotdiji and Damo in the 1840s. During the Indian Rebellion of 1857, a British officer shot 300 lions. The last lions of Gwalior and Rewa were shot in the 1860s. By 1880 no lion survived in Guna, Disa and Palanpur, and only about a dozen lions were left in the Junagadh district. By the turn of the century, they were confined to the Gir Forest and protected by the Nawab of Junagadh in his private hunting grounds. One lion was killed near Allahabad in 1866. The last lion of Mount Abu was spotted in 1872. Ecology and behavior. Asiatic lions live in prides. Mean pride size, measured by the number of adult females, tends to be smaller than for African lions. Most GIR prides contain just 2 adult females, with the largest having 5. Coalitions of males defend home ranges containing 1 or more groups of females, but, unlike African lions, GIR males generally associate with the pride females only when mating or on a large kill. A lesser degree of sociability in the GIR lions may be a function of the smaller prey available to them. The most commonly taken species, the chital, weighs only around 50 kilograms. In general, lions prefer large prey species within a weight range of 190 to 550 kilograms irrespective of their availability, yet they predominantly take prey substantially smaller than this, reflecting their opportunistic hunting behavior. Within this range, they prefer species that weigh 350 kilograms, which is much larger than the largest recorded weight of lion. The group hunting strategy of lions enables exceptionally large prey items to be taken. Hunting success in lions is influenced by hunting group size and composition, the hunting method used, and by environmental factors such as grass and shrub cover, time of day, moon presence and terrain. Domestic cattle have historically been a major component of the GIR lion's diet. In 1974, the Forest Department estimated the wild ungulate population to be 9,650 individuals. This population grew consistently in subsequent surveys, reaching 31,490 in 1990 and 64,850 in 2010, consisting of 52,490 spotted deer, 4,440 wild boar, 4,000 10,000 sambar, 2,890 bluebill, 740 chinkara, and 294 horned antelope. Thus, in the past 4 decades, the population of wild ungulates increased by over 10 times. In contrast, populations of domestic buffalo and cattle declined following resettlement, largely due to direct removal of resident livestock from the Gir conservation area. The population of 24,250 resident animals in the 1970s declined to 12,500 in the mid-1980s, but increased to 23,440 animals in 2010. Following changes in both predator and prey communities, Asiatic lions shifted the predation patterns. Today, very few livestock kills occur within the sanctuary, and instead most occur in peripheral villages. In and around the Gir forest, depredation records indicate that lions killed on average 23 livestock annually between 2005 and 2009, and an additional 696 individuals in satellite areas. Cases of predation or attacks on humans. On the 18th of July 2012, in the village of Nagreshi, Taluka of Jafrabad, district of Amreli, Gujarat, a lion dragged a 50-year-old man from the veranda of his house and killed him 50 to 60 kilometers from the sanctuary of Gir. This was the second attack in the area, 6 months after a 25-year-old man was attacked and killed in Dodada. Threats. The Asiatic lion currently exists as a single subpopulation, and is thus vulnerable to extinction from unpredictable events, such as an epidemic or large forest fire. There are indications of poaching incidents in recent years. There are reports that organized gangs have switched attention from tigers to these lions. There have also been a number of drowning incidents after lions fell into wells. Prior to the resettlement of mauled Haras, the Gir forest was heavily degraded and used by livestock, which competed with and restricted the population sizes of native ungulates. Various studies reveal tremendous habitat recovery and increases in wild ungulate populations following the Maldhari resettlement during the last 4 decades. Farmers on the periphery of the Gir forest frequently use crude and illegal electrical fences by powering them with high-voltage overhead power lines. These are usually intended to protect their crops from nilgai, but lions and other wildlife are also killed. Nearly 20,000 open wells dug by farmers in the area for irrigation have also acted as traps, which led to many lions drowning. To counteract the problem, suggestions for walls around the wells, as well as the use of drilled tube wells, have been made. Conservation. Panthera leopersica is included on CITES Appendix I, and is fully protected in India. Reintroduction in the 1950s. Biologists advised the government to re-establish at least one wild population in the Asiatic lion's former range in order to ensure the population's reproductive health and to prevent it from being affected by an outbreak of an epidemic. In 1956, the Indian Board for Wildlife accepted a proposal by the Uttar Pradesh government to establish a new sanctuary for the envisaged reintroduction. The Chandraprabha Wildlife Sanctuary, covering 96 square kilometers in eastern Uttar Pradesh, where climate, terrain and vegetation is similar to the conditions in the Gir forest. In 1957, 1 male and 2 female wild-caught Asiatic lions were set free in the sanctuary. This population comprised 11 animals in 1965, which all disappeared thereafter. The Asiatic lion reintroduction project to find an alternative habitat for reintroducing Asiatic lions was pursued in the early 1990s. Biologists from the Wildlife Institute of India assessed several potential translocation sites for the suitability regarding existing prey, population and habitat conditions. The Palpur Kuno Wildlife Sanctuary in northern Madhya Pradesh was ranked as the most promising location, followed by the Sita Mata Wildlife Sanctuary and the Dara National Park. Until 2000, 1,100 families from 16 villages had been resettled from the Palpur Kuno Wildlife Sanctuary, and another 500 families from 8 villages envisaged to be resettled. With this resettlement scheme, the protected area was expanded by 345 square kilometers. Gujarat state officials resisted the relocation, since it would make the Gir sanctuary lose its status as the world's only home of the Asiatic lion. Gujarat has raised a number of objections to the proposal, and the matter is now before the Indian Supreme Court. In April 2013, the Indian Supreme Court ordered the Gujarat state to send some of the Gir lions to Madhya Pradesh to establish a second population there. The court has given wildlife authorities 6 months to complete the transfer. The number of lions and which ones to be transported will be decided at a later date. In captivity until the late 1990s, captive Asiatic lions in Indian zoos were haphazardly interbred with African lions confiscated from circuses, leading to genetic pollution in the captive Asiatic lion stock. Once discovered, this led to the complete shutdown of the European and American endangered species breeding programs for Asiatic lions, as its founder animals were captive-bred Asiatic lions originally imported from India and were ascertained to be intra-specific hybrids of African and Asian lions. In North American zoos, several Indian-African lion crosses were inadvertently bred, and researchers noted that the fecundity, reproductive success, and spermatozoal development improved dramatically. DNA fingerprinting studies of Asiatic lions have helped in identifying individuals with high genetic variability, which can be used for conservation breeding programs. In 2006, the Central Zoo Authority of India stopped breeding Indian-African cross lions, stating that hybrid lions have no conservation value and it is not worth to spend resources on them. Now only pure native Asiatic lions are bred in India. The Asiatic Lion International Stud Book was initiated in 1977, followed in 1983 by the North American Species Survival Plan. The North American population of captive Asiatic lions was composed of descendants of 5 founder lions, 3 of which were pure Asian and 2 were African or African-Asian hybrids. The lions kept in the framework of the SSP consisted of animals with high inbreeding coefficients. In the early 1990s, 3 European zoos imported pure Asiatic lions from India. The London Zoo obtained 2 pairs, the Zurich Zoologische Garten 1 pair, and the Helsinki Zoo 1 male and 2 females. In 1994, the European Endangered Species Programme for Asiatic lions was initiated. The European Association of Zoos and Aquaria published the first European stud book in 1999. By 2005, there were 80 Asiatic lions kept in the EEP, the only captive population outside of India. There are now over 100 Asiatic lions in the EEP. The SSP did not yet resume purebred Asiatic lions needed to form a new founder population for breeding in American zoos.